the 43rd year, London's Olympia saw the opening of the Ideal Home Exhibition, always one of Britain's biggest shop windows. 500 exhibitors and more than 1 million visitors testify to the success of the show. The Grand Hall decoration has been carried out in fiberglass this year. A material of the 60s is the framework for the show of 1966. But the hard work behind it all started weeks back. Olympia in February was a hive of activity as the big show began to take shape. Exhibition stands, houses, gardens, a whole village were in the building. In the garden, a pond takes shape, from raw brick to the finished product in less than 3 weeks. The flowers move in, and all is ready for the visitors. The Countrycraft house gives a warm welcome. At its heart, solid fuel central heating sees to that. Skirting radiators warm the dining room and lounge. Panel radiators serve the hall, study and bedrooms. There are 2 bathrooms, one up and one down. And like the whole house, they're kept at the right temperature. And there's a central fireplace in the dining room, with another in the lounge upstairs. The coal board's own stand featured the living fire as the center of domestic warmth. All the information householders need was readily available, together with exhibits of the right fuel for the job and the wide range of modern appliances available today. For anyone whose home is a little way off being ideal, the Ideal Home Exhibition, as usual, can supply you with plenty of ideas for improvement. After 50 years of mining, Fred Draycott is taking his last ride up the shaft. He's a man with no regrets. He's ending his mining career as a training officer at Sutton Colliery in Nottingham. He's been in training for 9 years now, after more than 40 spent in the coalfield. Go back with Fred to the year 1916. He was a boy of 13 then, and on New Year's Day he started at Ormwood Colliery. He left home at 4:30 in the morning to get to work by 6. The 5-mile walk was a fair stretch for a young lad. Then came a 10.5-hour day, without meal breaks, working on the screens. 6 and 8 a week was his pay, and his father, a grown man, only earned 10 and 7 a shift. It was on the coal that the money was, just as it is today, and Fred Draycott went underground to earn it. Nobody trained you into a job. A son followed his father until he could carry on his own. Then came the depressions and the strikes of the 20s. In 1921, Fred Draycott was out 26 weeks. Half a year's work was lost to him. Another half year lost in 1926, and the pattern of insecurity was repeated all through the years between the 2 world wars. But since 1946, Fred Draycott has seen a new industry emerge out of the old. Modern power-loading machines have banished the pick and shovel. Powered supports have taken over from timber and iron bars.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. What is your name, please?
Alan.
Alan?
Alan Bowler.
Alan Bowler.
Philip Moulton.
Philip Moulton.
Yes.
And you've come for your bike, eh?
Yes.
The modern apprenticeship scheme is a very attractive scheme. You'll be indentured. You'll get day release, 1 day a week at Mansfield Technical College. And you'll be trained in every job in the pit.
When boys come to see him at Sutton Colliery, he can talk to them about the industry from the depth of his own experience. He can tell them how the future will be plotted in mining in terms of men skilled not only in the traditional crafts, but in the techniques of today and of tomorrow.
Gently open the valve. There you see the chock raising to the roof.
Fred's seen the social pattern of the industry change too, and the growth of amenities undreamt of when he started as a boy. He's seen the birth and growth of safety rules and proper training, and in all this, he's played his own part. Mrs. Draycott knows the story too. She could never reckon up how many sandwiches she's cut for Fred over the years, most of them sliced in the small hours of the morning. It's men like Fred Draycott, with long years of service behind them, who have helped guide the forward march of the mining industry of today. Tom Wilson is a deputy at Madeley Wood Colliery in Shropshire. And Shropshire is hunting country. Tom Wilson is a huntsman. Most weekends, summer and winter alike, Tom is out following the hounds. He's roamed well into North and South Wales for his hunting, but these days he prefers to organise his own meet. The hounds are a mixed pack, terriers and beagles. Tom's family are his keenest followers. But none are keener than Solus and Forrester. Why not? And Janie and Jerry. Tom's daughters, Valerie and Hilary, and his sons, Ian and Peter, are almost as expert as their father. Then there are the men from Madeley Wood who follow the hounds come rain or shine. There are no horses, and it's a long rise up to Holbrook. Holbrook is good fox country.
Well, there of course are several foxes on foot. On scent not lying very well, so now we've got a bit of shade in the valley. We'll try there. We might get a bit of cry up there.
Tom puts in his hounds to draw. Now it's up to the pack, and the way the scent lies and how Tom directs the hounds.
Go on, athlete. Here, come on, jumper. I'll leave you to get your blooming self. No, in, little wisdom. No. No in there. No in here. Oh. You'd win him. Yep.
But after all, the day belongs to Brer Fox. This time he's given them the slip and gone to ground.
Yep.
This is what Tom Wilson calls the glorious uncertainty of the chase. For the sport is in the chase and not in the kill. And Tom will be back next week and the weekend after with his terriers and his beagles and his family and the men from Madeley Wood. Boots are made to walk in. That's what the song says, but I sometimes wonder. There's one thing I do know, though, and that's that you won't find many mugs dressed like this, Charlie, down a coal mine. No, miners today rely on protective equipment to keep them safe, and the best-known gear is the safety boot. It will really take a beating. Safety in a mine is a matter of personal responsibility. You keep your eyes and ears open all the time to stay out of trouble. And the wise miner makes sure that he protects his hands as well as his feet. Now, starting this year, all the boots, gloves, and other safety clothing are going to cost the miner less to buy. Many items will go on free issue, and the man will only have to pay a proportion of the cost when the time comes to replace them. All the gear is manufactured to stringent specifications, and of course, samples are always being tested to make sure the equipment is up to the job it has to do. And that job is to protect hands and knees as well as skulls. In the world on the surface, boots are made to walk in, they say. Underground, they do a far bigger job than that.